you. Do you like monster girls? Hello and welcome to That Man, and this is my merchandise, and this is Monster Musume. And yeah, we've talked about this many times, and it's been a while since I actually covered more. I've actually got the entire release thing so far, and I kind of got to volume 8 or volume 9, and I actually just stopped reading all of a sudden. I don't know if it was because more stuff was coming out or what, but it's like, I need to catch up, so this is a good excuse for me to actually sit there and start reading more and more. And yes, this says, what was the whole thing? Headless Horseman. Because she's actually really nice. This actually ends the anime. This is the whole thing of the Dullahan and the D and who's killing stuff, and it was her who was writing the letter because she kept saying that he was going to die because she watched the main character, Kimihito, who and was just like, yeah, he's getting so abused and stuff like that, he's just going to die at some point. And she wanted to keep an eye on him, just saying, you're gonna die, and it's like, she was actually just warning him. She said that she saw him getting run over by a truck when actually it was just a little tiny toy truck, which seems to be a gag and stuff. I know Konosuba did the whole thing where it was just like he died of a heart attack because it was a tractor that stopped in front of him and he died for no reason, but yeah, it seems to be a running gag. I see it in something else. Oh yeah, Still Game, where she was going to get run over by a car and it was just a child driving one of those mini buggy things. But yeah, the character, the Dullahan, is really nice, and she does come into our one later on in the series. She actually saves people, which we will go into. The other character that gets a lot of focus is our favourite Spider, and brilliant, because honestly she is my favourite character. Because this goes further than the anime, I'm going to focus on that chapter that's after the anime, because the other one is like where they go on shopping, they meet the other characters who give them food and stuff like that. If you've seen the anime, which I'm assuming you have, you've probably already seen that. But this one focuses on the Spider Girl, Rachnera, or Rachnera, whichever way you want to pronounce it, whichever way, because I know some of the translations are quite different. So yeah, this is actually the whole thing, because she was abandoned. She was made to feel like she was unwanted. She did a little bit of damage to the family, and they kicked her out, and they were just like, they got rid of her because they thought she was unsafe. This has the young girl come back into the story and just like, I'm gonna do this. She's a challenge I must overcome. I must get myself better. And then she kind of runs into all of the monster girls, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna make you do this, and this, and it's really heartwarming at the end, because it's kind of like, she's like, oh, do you want to come back? I've learnt my lesson. I don't want to I've overcome this, and it's kind of whole thing. It's like, well, no, you're treating it as a challenge, and it's quite interesting in how like it reflects stuff with modern society, because there's so many stuff where people can be racist, they can be horrible, they can be abusive, they can, like, especially for like people with disabilities and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I want to try and amend. It's like, this is something I need to overcome and stuff like that, and it's like, it really puts them as not as a person, but as a thing, as a challenge, as something that needs to be beaten and stuff like that, rather than just being like the way it is. And she even says herself, it's like, once things got tough, she just stopped, and that is very reflective. I know someone who really struggled with a disabled child, and they were so close to giving up, and it's horrible to see it, and it's like they just couldn't manage it anymore. They managed to overcome it. It's hard to say, because it is one of those things, and this was put so well into it. I mean, yeah, there's the usual tying up and stuff like that, but it was very dark and how things turned and how much it was a thing. Because we've spoke about this before. We spoke about how it's racism, how they look at other stuff, and it's very interesting in how a series that is so much ridiculous and over the top and ecchi, how they can tackle such issues. At least that was for me. So yeah, this is volume 6. Again, if you love the series, you're going to enjoy it. If you don't like the ecchi, you're not. I would definitely say this is worth picking up on the account of the racism, and I really want to do a whole separate video on Monster Musume and how it's actually tackling issues that other series don't even look at. Other series have slice of life and they're just like, oh, you fell down, oh, what a pity, oh, you can't afford that, well, you'll get a job for a new thing. And it's like, yeah, this has that too, but it does manage to go one step beyond. And that's what makes me stay with this manga. And the monster tits. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks for coming and thanks for staying. What did you think of this? Did you feel anything from it? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for coming and thanks again. Goodbye.